Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. Yes, I understood that my grandmother was originally from Canada, but I don't know where and where they were married. Do you happen to?
I think that they must have been married in Canada.
Do you know where in Canada? Did you ever hear?
No, grandma never.
But I'm told that she was of German heritage. Is that what you understand?
You mean grandma?
Yeah, Anastasia.
Oh, I don't know. She spoke good Polish.
She did speak good Polish.
Oh, yes, Unless she was part German. She could have been part German.
That's possible. Because did you know if were they married when they moved in there? Did you have any idea?
Yeah, they were married. Yeah, I think Stan was already a baby when they moved here.
Ah. So
the oldest one, Stan.
Yeah. So I don't even. Stan thinks he was born here though, in the Twin Cities.
Yeah, he could have been born in Twin City, but maybe not at this place right here. See. Well, did he try to look up in the courthouse?
I haven't tried to look. I haven't done that yet. I'm going to be doing that real soon.
It could be at the courthouse.
I would. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. Sometimes you have little problems, you know, too. Because I had problems with my birth certificate. I was born. Yeah, they had it someplace else, not right where they have the regular. They found it, and the name was misspelled, and that was a midwife's fault. See, she misspelled the name. So you do have it in the olden days, you know, they weren't as strict as they are nowadays.
Do you remember anything else? Whether any of the other neighbors ended up knowing, like these other people that you mentioned? Who are these other people?
Oh,
and how did they know my family?
They're all gone or dead, you know. And now that one house there that they tore down, I don't remember who lived in that house when Grandma lived there.
Which house? Oh, this one.
Yeah, they tore it down. There was a house here that was torn. There were several houses that were torn down.
Okay, but was my grandma Anastasia and her family right next, the very next house?
No, not the very next. It was the next lot. There was a house here, another house, then their home, then their house.
Okay. So there's this one that's here right now.
Yeah.
Right on the end, and then there were two more where the parking lot is, and then the third one.
No, just one more home, and then their house.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So. But who are the people that you mentioned that you know of?
Well, the Jarris is one. They had a house over their homestead was, but that's sold. But one of the sons lives right on the corner here, Frank Jarris.
Frank Jarris. How old is he?
Oh, he's older than I am, a little older than I am.
How do you spell his last name?
Jaros, I think.
Right on the corner of which two streets?
Right across the alley here and on the corner.
So that would be 22nd and...
Well, no, it wouldn't be 26. It would be 21 and something, only uneven numbers. See, because it would be just like on that corner there. See, there on 3rd Street, only on 3rd Street. It would be just like that, the bar is on the corner.
Okay, it's on that side of the street.
That side of the street.
Right on the corner, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. And then who are the other people?
And that one across the... He's an old-timer. He's been here before we moved in here. So, Trasser. He's a Russian fellow.
Trasser.
Yeah,
how do you spell his last name?
Oh,
what's his first name?
Tony.
Tony Trasser.
Yeah.
So he's the short man that we saw. Right there.
Yeah. But he's a little younger than I am, so he maybe wouldn't remember too much of it. See.
Yeah. Well, would he know about the fact that my grandmother could have been beaten?
No, no.
Or Mr.
No. The only way is that lady that knew about it when she went in, and she told my mother.
She did?
Yeah, she told my mother.
You think she might have told some other people, though, too?
And no, she must have told, and no, I don't think so. No, I don't think so. And then, and she told to the auntie, you know.
Auntie Dabrowski. If you remember her name, I'd like to find that out from you.
No.
But she died.
Yeah, oh yeah, she's been dead good 20 years. Must be good 20 years. 50, let's see.
Did she have children then who are still alive?
She had a daughter and a son, and the son was drowned and when he was 16 in the river. And the daughter, she left home when she was about 16 years old. She could have been about 16. I've never seen her daughter until the time when this lady died on the front porch. So they notified the daughter, and she came here. And that's the only time I've seen the daughter. So I've never seen that daughter here.
Yeah. Now, whose wake was at Kozlak's?
That was John's, the babies.
The baby.
That would be the baby.
Yeah. And that was about when he was 20, though.
Yeah, he was a full-grown person.
Yeah. And Kozlak's funeral home is now.
There's a Russian fella that runs it, so Pete Kozlak isn't there.
Is the name of the funeral home still Kozlak's?
Yeah.
Oh, but there's a Russian fellow who runs it.
Yeah. So they wouldn't. I don't think he would know anything about it.
But they would have records of the burial and the fact that they handled it, I suppose.
Oh, could be.
Sure, I think so.
That could be, yes.
Do you remember what mortuary my grandmother was buried in?
That I don't remember.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Did your mother go to the funeral? Did you know?
To tell you the truth, I don't even remember if there was any funeral. Can't remember that. See, I can't remember that part.
Well,
because usually my mother, whenever there was somebody died in the neighborhood, she used to take us kids. Let us know that we all have to die, and she would take us so we wouldn't be frightened of death. Yeah, but I don't remember ever seeing her.
Well, I know she was buried at the cemetery, but they took her to Minneapolis General Hospital, huh?
I wonder if she went if they didn't bury her directly right from.
It's possible. Do you remember hearing if this woman saw that my grandmother looked like she was beaten, or?
No, she told her.
She just
said, "What's the matter?" And she says, "Joe beat me up."
And that was the morning after the baby was born.
Yeah.
And the baby was born at home.
In the old days, we were all born at home.
With a midwife?
Yeah. No, she used to have a doctor, so I don't even know if there was a doctor that night if he came in.
Maybe not.
Because before he was born, now who was the next to the youngest? The girl, wasn't it?
Bernice.
And I remember a doctor coming, and I says, "Ma," I says, Mrs. Kolasa, and the doctor's bringing a baby. I must say, yeah. She agreed with me. She wouldn't, she would never tell us that a woman got pregnant. We thought that the doctor brought the baby. And sure enough, of course, we kids were happy because then, we could go and handle it. My mother would go over there and she let us handle it. She let us hold the baby in her arms. And so you see that when the boy was born, I often wondered if there was anybody, if she did have a doctor, how would he? Maybe he came without, because lots of times the baby is born,
Well, I know how it is now
Yeah.
to deliver babies myself.
Yeah.
Do you, do you remember what Stan or any of the boys were like?
Well, we were all kids. We were all
Yeah.
young kids.
They play with you? They
yeah.
beat you up?
No. They, um, let's see if there was. See, he was younger than I was. I don't think that kids used to. I don't know. They didn't fight like they do nowadays. And we have a little devil here next door to us.
Yeah.
Some boys climb roofs and everything. And they were very quiet. Maybe because they were small. But he's only 10 years old, and ever since he was about 3 years old, he was always full of mischief. It all depends on the children too.
Yeah. Have you ever seen any pictures in your mother's picture collection
no,
of the neighbors?
No, didn't even own a camera at that time.
Yeah. How long ago was the house torn down?
Oh, years and years, quite a few years, 30.
30 years ago.
Good 30 years.
Oh, that's
ago,
been a parking lot for that long, huh?
Yeah. Well, not exactly a parking lot. They built another house on there.
Oh.
Another house was built on there.
And then now it's gone.
Yeah,
that
they
one's
moved that
gone,
house
too.
away then. When he took it over for the parking lot to Coastline, then they moved that home away.
Yeah. Well, you've seen a lot in this neighborhood in your time.
And there was another family that would have known, but he's dead too. See, I forgot what his name was. And he would have known something about family.
What about the people next door here? No.
No.
And
they're all gone. There's those the old timers. They've been dead for years.
Yeah.
They've been dead for years.
And
see, a lot of these people were older people.
Yeah.
See, Grandma was a younger person. She was younger than my mother was.
So you took over the house from your mother when your mother died, then here. Well, I don't know what else to ask. You've told me an awful lot.
Yeah.
And I'm very grateful that you did, that you have. And you told me some things I already knew in my heart.
Yeah.
It's always hard.
But maybe it was for the better that Grandma went, and sometimes, they got a better training than some of the kids. They gave them a good training
they did. They did.
Yeah. Well, there's the example.
And my father turned out pretty well, and we have a pretty happy family.
So you appreciate life more, too.
As a result, yes, you do.
Yeah.
That's part of the reason I'm doing it. That's part of the reason I'm doing all this, is to come to an appreciation of what my family's past is and to what I have now.
Yeah. That's why I still say I think that they should have orphanages. If a girl can't take care of her own child, she depends on the welfare. Well, put it in an orphanage if she doesn't want to adopt it out.
The child may have a better chance.
It has a better chance. Yes. Especially you find that among the Mexicans and the Indians, the
Say,
blacks.
do you ever remember going into their house and seeing what things were like inside?
Oh, not much. You know, we weren't allowed in anybody else's house because we young dirt, you know. So see, during the winter we didn't play. Just during the summer months.
Uh-huh.
The kids were outside. Well, we used to run over there.
Did you play outside with tricycles or what sort of toys?
No, just in the sand. We played in the sand, and of course we did. If it was a baby, well, my mother would let us hold the baby in her arms. To us, it was a doll. A live doll.
What was the house like from the outside?
Oh, it was a poor house, like all houses were in those days.
Did you ever eat as a house guest, or
no?
Or did Anastasia ever make cookies or anything like that,
no,
or
did Grandma did? She wasn't much on cook. You know, in olden days they didn't make fancy food.
Yeah.
Bread.
Yeah.
Bread.
Right.
The main food. That was the main food. The cooking, you know. I know that, like your dad, I guess my mother is talking about, he loved dumplings.
My father loved dumplings? Really?
Does your mother make dumplings?
No, she doesn't, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, when he was little, he loved dumplings.
No, my father was the youngest boy, aside from John.
Yeah.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, I've got a picture of them here. This ought to jog your memory a little bit. Oops, where did it go? Well, maybe I didn't bring it with me. I left it in the car. Would you like to see the pictures?
You mean, are they when they were small?
Uh-huh.
Oh.
Sure.
Where were they taken then? At the orphanage?
No, here, before they were left. That's my grandfather. Do you remember him as that?
Yes.
And this is another woman named Marie Morozak. I don't know. Morozak. I don't know what the occasion for was this picture.
Well, it could have been they were maybe best man and later on for a wedding.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is.
And evidently she was godmother to Stan. And there's Grandpa Joe, and there's Stan, and Helen, and Gladys, and my dad Joe, and Bernice. And this is Bernice some years later, when evidently she met with her father again and had her picture taken.
And he changed down here. He's changed, you know.
Yeah. And here?
And here's where she's a nun now, huh?
This is Bernice.
Oh, that's Bernice.
This is Gladys.
Oh, that's Gladys.
And that's Helen. That's my father Joe. That's Stan. And that's Frank. And this is Stan, and these are his children. He was married twice. His first wife died, and then he had a number of children by his second wife in that picture.
He's got a large family.
14. So, and so that's those. Here's my father as a young man, and my mother and me.
Oh, that's cute.
So I think that maybe Anastasia took that picture. My grandma took that picture. Because she's the only one who wasn't in the picture.
Yeah, could have been.
It's hard to know. Well, I guess Anastasia is buried in a northeast Minneapolis cemetery.
St. Anthony?
Uh-huh.
Do you know where that is?
Yeah.
On Central Avenue.
Is it on Central?
Yeah, on Central. It's about Central and would it be 28? There's that only cemetery. It's just a small cemetery.
Around 28th and Central, huh? Stanley says he remembers that there was a small red brick house next door.
Where?
To the house that he lived in.
Yeah, it was on that side. That was torn down.
The far
too.
side, the Jack's Cafe side.
Yeah. We used to call it the castle. It was kind of a big house. It was, in fact, that home was built years ago by a doctor.
Oh, it was?
A doctor lived in there. That's before our time. Maybe before 1900 sometime, way before that.
Now, you said you remembered that my grandma was taken to the hospital on a Saturday morning?
It was on a Saturday morning.
And do you remember if it was April? Does that sound right?
No, it was warm on. Must have been. It could have been May. Could have been May. Well, there must be a record in the courthouse on her.
Yeah. Stan thinks it was 1924.
It could be 1924, 25. Either one.
So
Let's
you
see, 24. Well,
you were
24. No, it could have been the 1925. My kids.
Because you were either 12 or 13.
Yes, and not only that, but my sister, she was older than I was, and she left for the convent.
She did.
And in May 1924, she was, Grandma was still alive.
So it may have been either after May 1924.
Well, see, she left in June. I think it was in June of 1924. And I think this didn't happen till about a year later.
Yeah, my father was born in March of 23. And then the next one. So it would have had to have been at least, the Bernice was after him, so it would have had to have been at least another year before.
Yeah.
She could have been pregnant with John.
Yeah.
Now that pins it down pretty well. It might have been April or May of 1925.
Yeah. But it was kind of warm. I'm sure it was kind of warm. Well, not too warm, but warm. You know how spring weather is sometimes.
Yeah.
Even in May, it's cold. I know there was no snow on the ground. Because we kids were running outdoors already with the coats.
Yeah.
So it must have been in the spring.
So you don't remember anything else about my grandpa, though?
too young yet, you know, to.
Yeah. Well, I need to go.
Yeah.
I think I would like to go and talk to Tony.
Yeah.
And
Of course, he's a little too young to know any, too much about.
yeah. How do you say his last name again?
Trasser, T-R-A. Oh, I really don't know how to spell his name.
And the other fellow's name is?
Frank Jarvis.
J-E-R?
J-A-R-O-S.
Okay. Sylvia, thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome. It was nice to see that they turn out very nice when they come out of the orphanage, because I don't think they left everybody at the same time until you got a certain age. You don't leave till you're about 18, I guess, 18, 19, and they find you work, I believe.
Yeah.
See, they prepare you for life. See, that's one advantage they had, that they prepared you for the outside world. And I guess they even found you a job.
Yeah.
Where during the Depression years, I remember when I couldn't find work, sometimes you'd say, oh, I should have been born an orphan. Maybe that would have got better luck. Because, there was really no work, and they would give work, like if you came from out of town, well, those people had to work, had to live someplace. They got a better chance to get a job.
Yeah.
I was in my 20s before I really found a decent job. That was tough. Those were the tough days.
Well, again, I want to thank you.
Yeah.
And I think I want to thank someone up there too, because I stopped on an impulse. When I was driving by to see if I could find if the old house was still up, I decided to stop and look. And I knocked on the door over there, and I saw you in this backyard over here, and I knew I had to come and talk to you.
Yeah, there isn't very many people.
And I think someone brought me here.
I think they're mostly just like Tony Trasser and Jairus yet that there are, but the rest of them, they're all goners.
Yeah.
The man that built that house, they were here way before we were, maybe 1900 in this neighborhood, and they're dead, and their children are married and then moved away. So there isn't very many old timers left anymore.
Well,
gotta make room for the young ones. See?
Yeah.
The old ones gotta go.
Not so fast.
That's my mother's saying always was. She says, we gotta go. She's gonna make room for the young ones.
Well, you've given me a marvelous wedding gift. A piece of my family heritage that no one else could give me.
Yeah.
That's a marvelous gift.
Well, I wish you a lot of luck in your marriage.
Thank you. I think it will go well.
Yeah.
In fact, I know it will go well. We're going to have it a little tough for a while because we're both going to be busy doctors. She's going to be a family practitioner. So that's that. So Sokolowski is the name of the man who founded the grocery store when Prohibition started and they closed the bar there. It was there on the corner.
The grocery store, and when booze come back, then you open it up again. As a bar.
What's the name of the streets here? What corner is that on?
22nd and University.
22nd and University. Okay.
And one of the kids, Spike, he's judge up in Anoka.
Maybe
But is he still alive? The man who opened the grocery store?
He died.
He did. But his son is
His wife has died. And then
a representative or something?
Judge.
A judge up in Fridley.
Anoka.
How old is he?
Spencer. Well, he would be, let me be, in his 50s? He was like Jerome.
So.
I wonder if he worked
Spencer Sokolowski.
Yeah. I wonder if he would have known any of the kids.
Yeah, might have, I don't know.
Especially
What
if
about people that lived
especially
across
if they
the
came
street
into
there,
this.
like
Well, the
on
woman.
the corner, kitty corner from Jack.
Now, who was?
The two brothers.
Kubatsky.
Was old timers there. The second house from the corner across the street.
Second house from that corner.
Yeah.
From that corner. You know where Jack's bar is?
Yeah.
Kitty corner.
And then two houses.
Second big house.
Okay.
Second big.
Then there's a vacant lot, right?
No, there's still.
There's another house. There's three houses.
There's three houses.
And then the vacant lot.
Of the middle house.
Yeah. Then after the vacant lot, there's another house, and that woman knew my grandmother. But she's
was,
dead.
Mrs. Goblik.
Mrs. Govlick?
Yeah.
G-O-V?
G-A-W-L-I-C-K maybe.
I'm not mistaken.
G-A-W-L-I-C-K?
Goblik.
Yeah.
Both dead. They had one son. He drowned.
At 16, right?
Something like that, yeah.
And her other daughter ran away at 16 or something?
They got a daughter living in St. Paul someplace. I don't know where.
Yeah.
I don't know if she's still alive now or not.
You always call somebody Honey Goblet.
Yeah, that's one that drowned.
Drowned.
The boy.
Yeah. About 16, go to Edison.
But the girl who ran away, how old would she be? Your age?
Maybe older. She was fairly old. She was married to, when I used to hang out with him. She was already married. I don't know when she got married, but she used to live in St. Paul.
Who did she?
Come to visit every so often.
Who did she marry?
I don't even remember that.
Okay, I wouldn't be able to find her then,
No.
unless I looked for her marriage license.
I know her husband used to make them ice cream cones, the brown ones that you wrapped around.
Yeah.
They call them honeycombs or something.
Yeah.
Her husband used to make them in St. Paul.
Huh.
That I remember.
Was that his business?
Yeah. He used to bring the broken ones and used to feed his chickens with the broken ones.
Huh.
Each they came there and eat them. He would have enough to feed his chickens.
Ah.
They were good.
You had quite a time in your backyard.
Oh,
Your father had. What did he have?
We
And
had
his
chickens,
father used to
rabbits.
make his own Foley sausage back there.
Yeah. Butt sausage, make it everything. He had a whole lot next to the house.
Yeah.
All garden, grew all of his vegetables.
Do you remember Mrs. Govlick's first name?
No,
I've heard it.
all I knew her by Mr.
Well, you
Goblik.
used to.
I think his
You
name was
used to
John.
work for her, didn't you? Wasn't she the lady that we used to hire you for washing walls or something?
No, Gavroin.
Gavroin. Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I guess she came over the morning after my aunt after my grandmother Anastasia gave birth, and she saw she was in a bad condition, and
She's a pretty good woman. She helped everybody.
yeah. Well, I think that's probably plenty of pieces of information to go on, but maybe that judge is a pretty good bet, but
He might know. I wouldn't be sure. He might know something about the kids. But he'd have to be. No, I don't think he'd know. He'd have to be older.
The Arendts didn't live there, huh?
Yeah.
Ray Arendt and. Well, there is an Arendt that lives in that old house now.
Yeah. We could talk to him. He might know. I think his name is Henry Arndt.
He lives in that very old house right next to the parking lot.
And that's right next to where the house
oh,
was.
Sylvia said he wasn't there when that happened.
Well, they've been living there ever since I can remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, Arndts live in that house ever since I remember.
Well, you knew Ray, the boy, because he was a concertina
There was
player.
Henry, yeah, and there
Play
was
for
Henry.
weddings.
and Louie, and one of the girls was Dee.
How old is Henry?
He must be as old as I am, older.
This man that's there,
Yeah.
then he's got to be over
He's still
70.
living, there's one still living
There's
there.
somebody still living in that house. No,
And his brother says he's a little bit loose
He's a
upstairs, I
little-
don't know.
he's been living there by himself for so long. He's gotten pretty, maybe a little senile or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, I'll treat him with respect if I go knocking on his door.
I would. We've seen him
He
come
comes
over
out
here
once in a
when
while.
he's going down for a paper on the corner. He keeps to himself pretty much.
Yeah.
He's a very quiet man.
He was the father of these other children that you're talking about?
No, that's a
He's,
brother.
he's one of the sons who got
One
the
of the
house.
older sons.
One of the older sons.
Okay. Well, I think that's that's about as much as I think I can
Yeah.
pack in
Oh,
And you're going to be married?
next Friday.
Oh my goodness. Where are you going to be married? Sit so.
No, there's a... Well, what are you doing? Writing a story on,
Yeah.
what is it, on Northeast or?
Oh no, I'm just trying to find out more about my family and see if I can find people who know something more about my family. Well, Sylvia's
Goes back a hell of a long ways. Who'd you say these names were here?
Kolasa, Joe, and in 1925, this was 24. This was Stanley. He was 8 or 9, all right, around there, 7, 8, 9. This was Frank and Helen and Gladys and Joe and Bernice, and the woman's name was Anastasia. Here, I've got another picture of him.
God damn it, that's probably the family that lived in that little,
That's him. That's him sometime later.
Hey, does that face look familiar to you?
No, maybe. I don't know who.
I think it might have been before your time, though.
Yeah, I think so.
He died in 55. Or before 55.
No idea. You're gonna bring in Dale? No, I was gonna stop at that store by here. When you need one, it's enough.
God damn it, that face looks like I should know him, but
Well, he might have changed his name to Kolsa later on.
Get
Or
over
Kolsa.
here, you little fella.
no, Kolasa or Kolasa, that name don't ring a bell, but that face looks a little bit like,
No, he's got a bunch of pop there. I wouldn't even worry about that.
like somebody
We'll just
I
mooch
would've
off
knew.
him.
So this here is, I mean, as far as I know, it seems to me like my memory takes me back to the family that lived in that little garage.
This little garage behind this house.
Wow, this house wasn't here.
Because
This one wasn't here. This didn't come in until maybe the late 40s or something. But this was,
well, that's Sylvia. I talked with Sylvia, and Sylvia said it was the second house past Aaron's, and this is where the parking lot starts now. She said it was not the next house, but the one after that.
well, no.
And she said it was before the one that was last taken out. So she must, if this was the only one that was here before this new one that was built and last taken out, she must be referring to the smaller house. Because I know it was a real
She's
small
gotta
house.
be, because if I remember correctly, Tomczyk or Tomaszek or how you want to pronounce it, I don't know. But they had a big building right along the alley here, a shed this way. Then they built a garage in here, right in here, to drive in from this direction. Now this garage I remember very well because I was about 12 or 13 or 14 years old when we built that, and I helped them. The old man gave me $5 and a pair of overalls for helping them build that garage. And that was the Tomaszek family. There was a Francis in that family, a Franny, a Stanley, a Walter, and a couple of other kids. They were older. And then there was a they lived downstairs, and there was a family upstairs. Now maybe they lived upstairs here, or they lived in this little kind of a garage. It was just like a 2-car garage with 2 rooms in there. And there was people living in there, and for some reason or another, there was kids in there, I know, but now what the hell, that's...
Do you remember anything about the kids?
No, this
Did you ever play with any of them?
Well, I suppose, but hell, that goes back 50-some years now, too, you know.
Yeah.
And Christ, the man has gone through a war and everything else, and I don't, what the hell, but I know I tried to get a hold of...
Stanley?
Well, I got a hold of him because I was trying to find his father. This is a few years back. I don't remember when that was either. That's a raccoon.
No.
But that guy looks like, I mean, for some reason or another, it looks to me like it could be the guy that lived in that little garage.
You said you remember they were poor.
Oh yeah, he used to drink like hell. I know, like when you mentioned it, like they had to be poor the way he was drinking. And he looks a little bit like could be this guy in his earlier years. This would be about 20 years older than this one, is the way I got it figured out.
Yeah. This is him also, just a couple years.
This I would have, I know I couldn't get no connection there at all. This must be the granddaughter to this guy. Don't look like his wife.
It's his youngest daughter.
Oh. This guy, like I say, this looks to me like that guy. I mean, as far as I can remember.
Tell me what else you remember just about them, about that family.
What the hell can you remember about them family? I mean, the people were poor. In those days, you're lucky you had a roof over your head. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then if you had a drinking problem, you had more problem than you had just trying to stay alive. There was another. I don't know. Of course, that could be the reason for a man drinking too. Okay, here you got 2, 4, 6 kids here. I know they... Just trying to think. I'm sure, the way I remember, I need my red pencil. The way I remember, that building was built right back on the alley like this. And there was nothing here as far as I remember.
In the front lot, huh? In the front part of the lot.
And Tomaszek was here, and he had this big building back here, and then the garage that we built here. And there was that big red house here. Big red brick house.
Yeah.
Okay, then that had a building back here, right on the alley. And if I remember right, this was partitioned right in half, just like 2-car garage this building was. It was built back there. close to the alley, like a two-car garage. And I guess this was, one of these was a bedroom, and the other one was more or less like living room, kitchen, and dining room, and everything else.
Yeah. You remember what color it was?
If I remember right, it was that greenish looking tar paper on the outside of it.
Real dark green? Or,
Yeah, it's not real dark green,
Yeah.
it's just normal green, you know. I don't remember now if they built an entry back here or not. It was,
Yeah.
seems to me there was something like little